Sitting with Mr. Josh Gad. Mr. Gad, thank you so much for your time and for speaking tonight.
Oh my God, it's my pleasure. This is such an unbelievable cause, and I think it's one of the saddest things that we actually need to even be here raising money to have music in schools. I just, growing up, that was something that I think I took for granted because it was always available to me. And it defined my life. Musical theater defined my life at an early age. The opportunity to be in a chorus defined my life. And to now see that there are schools, and many of them, without any music available to the kids is I think, tragic.
So, I mean, music, it's part of your life, but you've also kind of transferred that into acting and everything. As an actor and a singer and a musician, when you're encompassing a role, like say for Olaf, or you're on stage or anything, you're working with songwriters or working with screenwriters. How do you kind of find the voice of the character when you're working with them? Is it based on you kind of adapting it from the songwriters?
My approach has always been absolutely one of collaboration, because I feel like that's what yields the greatest results. So in the case of Olaf in Frozen, I had a discussion with Chris Buck and Jennifer Lee, who both wrote and directed the movie. And the three of us kind of discussed what this character was. Like, essentially, what could you equate this snowman to? And the thing that we came up with was he is the embodiment of innocence and naivete. And so I sort of just started like watching performances or videos of like just little kids, just frantic little kids who are so excitable, and that sort of defined that sound, and it defined that character. And so, you know, that naive franticness that you hear in the movie all came out of that collaboration and us discussing what makes this little snowman tick.
And that's, versus that's an animated film, so you're not seen on screen, but when you're on stage, it's completely different when your body is, for everyone to see.
Oh, absolutely.
So how does, when you're, I guess, prepping for animation, because you're working with choreographers on stage and everything, so how does that differ in terms of, I guess, building that character when you don't have your body to work with and just your voice?
Sometimes it's actually harder, because you have to translate all these emotions without actually physically expressing them to an audience. And so, thankfully, we had some of the greatest animators at our disposal creating the look for us, but you try to infuse so much of that energy because all you've got is your inflections and the timbre and tone of your voice, and that's it. That's all they have to work with, and that's all you have to translate. The emotions of the scene, the comedy of the scene, whatever it may be. So for me, it's all about making that connection in the booth and making sure that everybody, all the parties, and in the case of a musical like Frozen, including the composers, Bobby and Kristen, that everybody's on the same page.
And kind of touching back on education through music, Frozen has touched the lives of so many people. I mean, how is it now that you have people coming up to you, kids, and going, oh my goodness, like you're Olaf, and that music is, you have kids singing on YouTube, Let It Go, or your Olaf song, and then just like touching millions of people. I mean, it's that a part of education through music too, because these kids are learning. I mean, how does that feel for you as the person kind of behind that character?
It really is a dream come true. I grew up during the Disney Renaissance, the golden age of Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Lion King. Those movies defined my childhood. So to now be a part of a film that has become a cultural touchstone in its own right for children, not just in the States but all over the world, it's the greatest wish fulfillment ever. And not a day goes by where somebody doesn't ask me to say I like warm hugs, or to sing in summer. They just love that character so much, and I'm honored to be the vessel for that guy.
And kind of joining generations, you're working with Richard Sherman tonight. I mean, oh my goodness.
An absolute idol, an icon of... I truly believe he would be on the Mount Rushmore of composers, especially film composers, if there were a Mount Rushmore. By virtue of Mary Poppins alone, he would deserve that ranking.
Absolutely.
So for me, it's I mean, just this morning, my daughter was literally singing Feed the Birds.
Wow.
So to get to play alongside of a guy like this, another dream come true. Bucket list checked out.
Well, Mr. Gad, thank you so much for your time today, and thanks for being part of tonight, and it was a great honor to speak with you.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.